What's up, everybody?
Ooh. Okay.
What's up, everybody? My name is Julian, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Hey, that was less aggressive, definitely. Okay, so today, what I want to talk about is just my experience being in college during the pandemic. I'm sure y'all probably have already talked to people about this. A lot of y'all that follow me probably are college students, so you probably already know. But just want to kind of talk about my experience being in college during the pandemic, because it definitely has heavily impacted just like our daily lives in general. Being that, you know, I was in college for a year and a half before it started, and now the Covid-19 pandemic has taken up like basically more than that amount of time. So yeah, most of my college experience thus far really has been COVID, or at least like half of it. So yeah, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, this is kind of me venting. Also, just me being bored and want to talk about it. So yeah, if you're interested in listening to this, stay tuned. If you haven't, I say this in every video, but if you haven't already liked and subscribed, please do so down below. And then please leave a comment, any video suggestions, comments on what I'm saying, anything. Love to read y'all comments, but without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and get into the video, because if not, I'll just rant forever. So yeah. Okay, so overall, like, in comparison to before COVID times, I would rate like being in college during the pandemic maybe like a 5 or 6 out of 10. Like, I won't give it like a 1 or 2. Like, it hasn't just been like, well, it has been the worst thing in the world, but it hasn't been like the most terrible thing that could happen. It hasn't like just shut down everything and taken away everything that we did before. And it's definitely better now, being that, you know, we aren't really at like the height of the pandemic. It's still pretty bad. Hopefully it doesn't get worse again. But it's not as bad as it was before, especially before most people on campus became vaccinated. So it definitely has gotten better. But yeah, I'm just gonna talk a little bit about probably more so the experiences before we got vaccinated and had a little bit more freedom in terms of like mask policies and gatherings and eating in the dining hall and all that stuff. So yeah, so one of the main things that the pandemic really did in terms of like mental health, like, it just made me feel really lonely. Granted, like, I still had the same relationship I had with all my friends like in school throughout the pandemic. Like, none of my friendships were lost because of the pandemic, but it was just like, I don't know, I guess because we always had to wear masks like every single place that we went besides like our own rooms. And I was actually following like the policies just because like I was scared of getting COVID. So like that was a really lonely process. Like first semester junior year, and then second semester junior year. I was taking a bunch of hard classes and doing a lot of other stuff, which I'll talk a little bit about later. But yeah, it was a really lonely time. Like, I don't know, like I look back and I guess I didn't realize I was as lonely during that time, but I realized it afterwards. And then I began to see like how it really impacted like my mental health like overall. So I didn't really know how badly it was impacting me. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. Like, I didn't really know how bad it was impacting me until like after it was over. Yeah, like I would go to class, and then some of my classes were on Zoom, and so I was staying in my room, because if I went and was on Zoom like in like one of the academic buildings or like in the library, I had to keep my mask on, which like made it even worse to like pay attention in class on Zoom. So I would just stay in my room. So that was like a decent bit of my classes, and sometimes professors would just like opt to have classes on Zoom. So then there was like extra classes on Zoom like a few times per week. So yeah, it's just like it was a really lonely process. Then I was taking like really hard classes. Like one semester, I mentioned this in one of my other videos, but I was taking biochemistry, inorganic chemistry, intensive Spanish that met 7 times a week. Two of those days of the week we met twice. And then I was taking physics, which is one of the worst science classes you can take in my school. Yeah, so it was pretty bad. And I was always with myself doing work, because that's what I did 24/7. I did work, and then wouldn't get back to my room until like 11, 12 at night, and just went to sleep and did that every day. So as you can tell, that's a very lonely process, especially when, you know, I didn't really have that many classes with my friends. because, you know, as you get higher, sometimes you just end up like getting different interests. And then you start taking like different classes because there's like more like specialized classes. So that's what I was doing basically, and yeah, it was very lonely. That's the moral of the story. And like also, I think because I was so lonely for like such a long period of time, it's like now I kind of find myself still in that like mind, like that like pandemic mindset where like you were just like really doing everything like alone, especially like eating alone, because I don't know how it was at other schools, but I know my school, they didn't allow us to eat inside of the dining hall for a while. So basically they would just give us these like boxes to take. You just like pack your food, and then they pack your food for you, and then you just leave and like go eat like in your room or something. And so like before the pandemic, like it was a very popular thing for us to sit in the dining hall like in large groups, like more so with like friends and like acquaintances, like not even just your close friends, and just like talk and chill for hours, stay there for literally hours. But it's like now that I don't have to do that, it's like I still find myself eating by myself. Like in my school we have like 3 rooms. We have like the first, second, and third room, and the third room is like the room all the way in the back of the dining hall. And like now when I go to the dining hall, it's like I might even see like people there that I talk to like all the time, but I just find myself going like in the back to sit by myself, just because like I don't know, I guess I'm used to it. I don't know if I've just like learned to love like that quality time by myself in the dining hall. I don't know what it is, but yeah, I feel like I'm still stuck in that like mindset of just like eating by myself and just like go do things like alone, which I mean has its benefits, but also like I kind of wish that I wasn't still stuck in that mindset. Like I would much rather just eat alone like most of the time than eat with other people. I don't know. Also, something like, and this is very personal to me because, well, other people as well, but I mean, this is something like more personal because it's more like specialized, like in terms of like what I want to do in the future. But as y'all know, if y'all been following my page, like I want to go to medical school, right? And because I want to go to medical school, I had to study for the MCAT to take it in the May that just passed, and so I was studying for that all of winter break last year and all of spring semester of my junior year, which we just left because I'm a senior now. And so that was another thing that I think made the pandemic worse on me, just because like I said, I literally did not have any free time to like take care of myself, and like I guess go against all the negative impacts that the pandemic was having on me and my mental health, because like I mean I feel like many other people, if they weren't studying, or if I wasn't studying for the MCAT, then I would have had much more time to focus on myself and just like take care of myself and, you know, mitigate some of those impacts from like being so lonely and stuff. But then studying for the MCAT made me more lonely because like most of the people I knew weren't studying for it like alongside myself, so like I would just study by myself. And so that made things worse. And then the level of stress, oh my god, y'all, I can't even grasp at this point how stressful like studying for the MCAT made me, because like I'm in such a good place right now. It's like I couldn't imagine going back. But I'm going to medical school, so you know, I'm sure it'll be worse at some point. Well, I'm not gonna speak that, but I mean it'll probably be worse at some point. But I mean, I think now I'm better able to deal with my emotions. So I guess that's one good thing that came out of the pandemic. I've learned ways to kind of like mitigate, like I said, mitigate those effects of like stress, and just like learn how to like manage my stress and deal with it, and know when I'm like pushing myself way too hard. I need to just take a breather. So yeah. And like, you know, I don't want to be too negative in this video, so I'm going to share something positive that came out of the pandemic. I think one thing that I learned personally that I will forever value is that there's like more to life than just like school. And I know people say that, and it doesn't really help that much to like say it, but like just to know it and think about it when you are getting like way too stressed, I think is something that's valuable, just because we push ourselves way too hard sometimes. And like it's like school just becomes everything to us, especially pre-med students. If you're a pre-med student, you know what I'm talking about. If you're not a pre-med student, you got pre-med friends, you know what I'm talking about. But like, it's like school just becomes something that's like everything to us because we want it so bad. Like, we want to be physicians so bad. We want to get into medical school so bad. We want to get this specialty so bad that we literally do any and everything to get there, and that basically caused it to take over our whole life. And so, I mean, I can't change anything about what I want to do because this is what I want to do. I'm passionate about it, and this is what I'm going to do. But it's like the pandemic made me realize that there is much more to life than just like school and academics and like professional life. Like, life is supposed to be like a happy process, like a journey that you go through, and like worrying about school every single second of the day and academics every single second of the day will only just make you sad, and like you'll be miserable. So I mean, you gotta find I've learned to like find other things to enjoy, and like I said in my other videos, you know, I enjoy working out, I enjoy like painting outside, I enjoy like going outside at night and staring at the stars. Granted, it's kind of cold in the winter, so like I don't really do it as much now, even though this year global warming. So yeah, but you know, I've just learned to value other things outside of academics, which I'll forever be grateful for, because before I did not do that. I simply did not do that. So yeah, I'm kind of mad it took me until I was 22 years old to figure that out. But you know, better late than never. So I'll take it. I don't really have much more to say at the moment. Probably a lot more I could say, definitely a lot more I could say, but I'm gonna go ahead and close the video right now because I have to work on some homework. I have my last final, it's not a final exam, I just have to present my project. It's a video that I made, so I'm just gonna sit there and push play, and then that's literally it. But I have that tomorrow, so I'm just gonna make sure I prepare my written portion for that. But thank y'all for supporting my videos, supporting my YouTube channel. Definitely, I know I've said this 1,000,001 times, but I'm just not going to promise how many videos I'll post every week because that just never goes how I want it to be. But I'm definitely going to start posting more on my channel, especially during winter break. Just posting more about what I want to talk about. I feel like before I was trying to like post, you know, every single thing that I thought people wanted to see, and working so hard to like try to figure it out and stressing myself out. But I'm just gonna post whatever comes to mind, whatever I want to share, I'm gonna just post it. Channel might not be simply just focused on like pre-med and mid and college. I'm gonna just post whatever I want and whatever I enjoy making, because that's what's gonna keep me going. Definitely gonna post more vlogs, advice videos, all that stuff still. Have exciting news to share soon, so stay tuned. Make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. I appreciate all the support, and that's all for today. But yeah, peace out. Have a nice winter break.